going online, ma'am. So, ma'am, the attendees are still joining. So, another 2 minutes, then we can start.
Yes, yes.
So, ma'am, let us begin the evening. I believe a lot of attendees are here already. So, I welcome you all for today's session, Attention to Rejection, an initiative by I'm the Best Mom. When we have started this series some time back, and on this platform, I'm the Best Mom, which is an initiative, which is a platform where we now and then we have been talking about children and the challenges they have been facing, or maybe the way we can make their life much better. So we have spoken at different topics in the previous weeks as well. So every statement of ours when it comes to interacting with anybody, it carries an emotion, and emotion behind the words are very, very important. So this need has further raised during this current pandemic, and we are taking it as a new normal. Now, our today's topic for the discussion is attention to rejection. It's a broad topic. Now, let us understand the emotions of the child from our guest today, and we will be interacting more in detail very soon. So when it comes to our esteemed guest today, it's a privilege to introduce you all, Dr. Jayashree Sivalkar and Mrs. Prutha Vane today. Now, Dr. Jayashree Sivalkar comes with a rich experience. She is a developmental pediatrician and a child and adolescent psychologist. Child Development and Activity Center at Nagpur. She is based at, and she is a national level life skill trainer as well. And currently a member to the State Advisory Board on the for the Disability. President, Adolescent and Health Academy at Nagpur. It's a privilege to have you today.
Thank you.
Now, when we talk about the children journey, today, more than I believe around 7 to 8 hours a day, the children are spending in school. Current time is little different, but hearing the journey of the child, particularly in a school environment, ma'am, Mrs. Prutha Vane, ma'am is a headmistress with the Parag English School and Junior College for Commerce in Bhandup West in Mumbai. The life motto of Mrs. Prutha Vane is, in life, you are not doing all the things that scare you if you are not really doing anything in life at all. So I believe we will be knowing a lot more from her today. And the opportunities for the 21st century are pretty exciting and empowering as long as we are open to adopt new mindsets. A teacher cannot be replaced physically, yet we need to be educated for the best and the worst of the situation. And I personally believe a teacher can build a generation as well. So it's a privilege to have you, ma'am, today.
Thank you.
When we are going forward, and I would request all the attendees, they can also post their questions in the QA section. And we will be taking those questions towards the end of the session. And before we initiate, let me very quickly take you. Life is all about moving forward. And when we do so, rejection is always a possibility. And even if it is a big or a small, that affects to all of us. Feeling rejected is the opposite of feeling accepted. But being rejected, and we all will be at times, so it does hurt. It linked to and how much value or how much importance we are giving to that again matter a lot, and how timely. So it just means that one time in one situation with one person, things may not work, but we may think of option. But it is impossible to avoid it also. But in fact, you don't want to people who become too afraid of rejection. This may hold back them from going forward, whatever they aspire to. But even if at in their journey this rejection happens, how we can handle it and how safely we can channelize it as an opportunity. So, ma'am, I would request Dr. Jayashree ma'am to initiate the session today, and please share your views on attention to rejection. How best we can, as a parent, we can handle it. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And thank you to whole team of this program for having me here. And a big thank you for including this theme or including this emotion of rejection in your series of sessions for emotions. As it is, we know that this is the most neglected emotion. So rejection is mostly neglected. So it's a good thing that you have highlighted it, and I'm happy to be part of this session. Uh, Many times we come across adults who are irritable. They themselves give very negative vibes, or sometimes they are extra showing off their things. Sometimes they are into very wrong relationships. You will wonder why this girl is with that boy or why that boy is with this girl. So why do adults behave like this? Many times the answer lies in the childhood experiences. As we all know that the child is growing into an adult personality, though he has inherited some personality traits genetically, but it is the interaction, the social interaction, the familial interaction, which determines the personality of any individual. So what happens in the childhood? Are there any instances which are damaging the personality, which are affecting the personality in a negative way? And yes, rejection is one such thing which can really damage the self-esteem of a child, adolescent, and later the adult as well. So we are living in an area, in a times where overprotection is also an issue. There are single child, two child, nuclear families, joint families, and what we are saying that children are now overprotected and they are overindulged. So where is the question of rejection? But let me tell you, let me share with you, because I deal with many adolescents, that this is something which children have been experiencing. Why do parents reject? Sometimes intentional, sometimes unintentional. It is through their behavior that they are rejecting, but they are not aware that this is being affecting the child negatively. So why this rejection? You will be surprised to know certain reasons. Sometimes it is just the gender of the child. I wanted a boy and this is a girl. I wanted a girl and this is a boy. This pregnancy was unplanned. So this child is being rejected. Some family issues, some stress, some conflict, and the child is rejected. Sometimes it is the color of the child, sometimes it is the features of the child, sometimes it is the associated problem of the child, and the child is neglected. Sometimes there are parental issues, over busy parents. Sometimes they feel that I am giving everything to my child, so many things, so many toys, so many gadgets he has. But what he is feeling is rejection from parents. So is it common? Yes, it is fairly common. What are the components of this rejection? I mean, how does it affect? And how parents can identify and how parents can handle this? So most important thing parent needs to remember is that whenever child is rejected, his self-esteem is affected. And self-esteem is one thing which really determines the success of individual. It is more than the intelligence quotient. It is more than the academic performance. It is more than the opportunities let down in front of the child. It is the self-esteem which can lift the child from nowhere to everywhere. And when a child is rejected, his self-esteem is affected. And such children who are rejected, when they go in for their with the friends or in their relationship during adolescent, they will just have relationship with any boy or a girl, and parents feel, see, look at our status and look at the boy. How my girl can fall for this boy? So what is this that boy is giving to my child which I am not able to give? It is the attention. It is the positive talk, probably for which this child or young adolescent was waiting for. So it is there in the behavior, it is there in the performance, it is there in their mind. So parents need to be aware of this. So rejection affects the self-esteem. This is one of the important take-home message which parents can have. Second important thing, the communication between the parent and the child is very important. Parents must remember that when you are communicating with the child, almost 80 to 85% it is through your non-verbal communication, non-verbal gestures and your tone, and less of the words which you are using. So parents need to monitor how you are interacting with your children. Are you in your mobile and then just saying who? Are you doing like that? You come from the office, you are stressed out, the child hugs to you, and you just say, just wait for a few minutes. I am very stressed out. Let me relax. Child comes from the school and the parents are not listening to the child feels rejected. So sometimes it is intentional, many times it is unintentional. Many times the parental time, parental stress, parental work and the other challenges are there. But parenting is all about taking these challenges and rearing your child to a mature, well-adjusted individual. So parenting is the time when you are teaching the child, when you are handling the child, but at the same time you are learning from the child.
So, ma'am, let us also ask the parents. So, I'm sharing here the second poll question. What should be the parents' response?
Yeah.
See, what
the child gets rejected.
Response if their child gets rejected? I would request all of you to respond to the poll.
So I'm supposed to take this question now?
No. It's not a question. We are putting this as a poll.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let us hear the response of the attendee.
Okay.
And ma'am, you can also vote.
Okay. So basically,
we are waiting, ma'am, another 30 seconds. Then I will share it on your screen.
Okay.
So there are four questions. The question is, what should be a parent's response if their child gets rejected? Blame the child for being irresponsible all the time, punish the child, depends on how often child gets rejected, and listen to the child before jumping to conclusion. So another 10 seconds, then we can end the poll. So, ma'am, 93% believes listen to the child carefully before jumping to any conclusion.
Yes.
That says, I think we as a parent and what you are, ma'am, trying to convey, I think now you can take up the challenges what the kids are going through at particular moment.
Yeah. Shall I start?
Yes, please.
So, see, very important conclusion we got just now. And listening is one of the important part of communication. So, how you listen to your child is very important. And most of the rejection occurs during the communication, during the interaction, during the parental interaction, during the interaction with the sibling. So, parents need to be aware of their mode of communication while interacting with the child. This is again a very important thing. Listening, positive listening, giving intermittent response, and again, the most important thing in the communication is responding to the emotion of the child. Like, for example, when the child is saying, that boy has hit me, and suddenly they will, parents will shout, how can the boy hit you? Are you this? Are you that? So instead of responding to the emotion, they are responding to the event. So while communicating with the child, parents need to identify which emotion the child is trying to convey and respond to that in the same way. Another instruction or another suggestion for a parent is their self introspection. While communicating with the child, what is the mood of the parent? Are they overreacting? Are they underreacting? Are they disturbed always? How is the tone? How is the body language? So parents many times should learn to ask themselves, what is my mood? If they are not in the mood, they can clearly tell the child, wait for 5 minutes, I'm getting fresh, then I will come to you and then we'll probably discuss together. If the parents are busy, they can convey this to the child in a very positive manner. Maybe they can hug the child, tell them that I know this is important, I'll be back soon. So these are the some of the tricks or some of the ways the parents can tell that they want to listen to the child, but at present probably they cannot spare time, but surely they will, and they must do that after some time so that child gets confidence that my parents are listening to me. The third important point in this rejection is the discipline with the or the disciplinary methods which the parents are adopting to control the child. Many times parents are very, what I would say, that they use variety of disciplinary methods in a variety of situations. There is no consistency. So sometimes they will shout for one reason, while sometimes they will neglect the same thing. So while attempting to control the rejection, I think positive discipline is very important. So I will just revise these 4 points in the rejection before I go ahead. That one is self-esteem is affected. Second is effective communication is important. Third thing, self-introspection by the parents about their behavior is very important. And fourth thing, positive discipline needs to be learned, needs to be adopted by the parents. Now, how would parents know that child is rejected by us or child is feeling rejected by us, or knowingly, unknowingly child is rejected by us? Again, there are two angles to this. One is important for parents to realize this, and the second important is training the child or preparing the child to handle rejection in the society, which is inevitable, because the child will be going through school, he will be interacting with peers, and he might just feel rejection. He'll be in a relationship and he might feel rejection in the relationship, or maybe rejected from the job, or sometimes rejected by the teacher also, because many times students just say that our teacher, you know, uh, has some favorites in the class, and teacher teaches to only those favorites, and I'm not one of the favorites. So that creates anger and suppression or depression in the child. So while handling rejection at home, parents need to see that they have to prepare their child to handle rejection in the outside the house in a very positive way or in a very strong way. So how does the child who is rejected, how can parents recognize that the child is rejected? Most often it is shown in a behavior. Stressed out behavior, anxious child, child who is afraid, who has habits like thumb sucking or nail biting, teeth grinding. Okay, sometimes he is not able to control his bowel movements. This is also fairly common. Child feels isolated. Child spends more time alone. child spends more time on media and he's craving for attention on media. Nowadays, parents need to be aware of the media activity of the child. So, is he getting likes? Does he want likes? Does he want to be part of the group? Does he want to share something immediately on the group? Is he craving or does he want appreciation from the group? Moment he clicks the photo, he wants to put it and he is worrying that, I have got likes, I don't have got likes. So parents need to monitor the media activity of the child as well. That will also suggest that whether the child is feeling neglected, rejected or not.
So, ma'am,
Sometimes,
I believe this is where the rejection management need to be done. Like, also
yes,
understand from the parents' perspective. So, when
yes,
we feel the rejection is truly been done or the
yeah,
management has been done properly,
yeah.
I would
Uh,
request you to answer like when the child is feeling low, is that the time? Or maybe when the parent is in a mood to talk to the child, or immediately after the rejection, and when having a casual routine with the child. Select your choice of answer. So another 10 second, ma'am, we'll wait. So ma'am, I'm sharing the opinion.
okay,
Well, decent, like more than 50% of the parent is feeling when the child is feeling low is the right time, or
okay,
this is the time when the management is been done.
okay.
And, and
Uh,
many believes when they are having a very casual routine with the child. So that's the time they believe this is. And I believe this is there the maximum people have felt
yeah,
is that when the child is on a low.
okay,
So what is your
yeah.
experience with in clinic when you interact with parents or children?
Uh, See, every time when the child is feeling low, it may not be the right time to talk. Okay, it may not be the very correct time to give the explanation for behavior. When the child is feeling low, you have to be just with the child. Many times when the child is feeling low, the physical contact becomes more important. So you can hug the child, you can kiss the child, you can play with the child. And if the child is feeling low, sometimes parents are also anxious. So that may not be the correct time for conversation. The correct time would be maybe before going to sleep, when parents have calmed down, when the child has calmed down. Okay, so that is the time you can actually make the child uh, feel wanted. That is number one. But definitely, the parents have given one very important clue, and parents should get a clue that parents need to be with the child when the child is feeling low. But it may not be in reference to all your discussion. It could be just activity with the child or physical contact with the child. Now, managing rejection is a full-time activity. You cannot just manage rejection by once or twice spending time. It should come from within the parents. Simply talking, they should enjoy being with the child. So that enjoyment can come with the common sharing activities, cooking with the child, doing craft with the child, playing with the child, telling stories with the child. So all your activities which you are routinely doing, you can involve your children and spend very quality time, positive time with the child. More of a physical touch. Many times we are not doing that. So a morning hug, a hug before going to sleep, these are very important because touch can really convey lot of things. Okay. Then discussing your own issues with the child sometimes, and similar way handling children's problem in a very systematic way, sometimes that also helps in handling rejection. You can discuss your holiday plan, you can discuss your Sunday plan, you can discuss your work with the child as per his age, of course. Similarly, you can ask the child about his own issues. And finally, the last word would be responding to child's emotion in an appropriate way. Many times parents just laugh or ignore or make fun out of it. especially if there are siblings around. So in that way, child is not very comfortable with the parents about sharing the emotion. So identify the core emotion, respond to core emotion, spend as much time as you get with the child. You know, children don't want gadgets, actually, they want you. When they don't get parents, they go in for gadgets, and then we go for a very strict disciplinary action, and that doesn't solve the problem. So, my final word would be enjoy with the child, be happy with the child, show your happiness when children are around. Share your problems as and when you can. Share their problems as and when you can. And be little more physical with the children. You know, child will get lot of positive message, positive vibes from you, and he would be actually strong enough to face any rejection from outside. I just end with one common example, which many times we see students attempting suicides, especially after their important board exams or their uh, important results, competitive exams. So, this is the question I would like to ask the parent, that when the child is feeling so low, or when he has experienced the most difficult times of his life, where would child go? Why isn't child coming to you? Why is child afraid to go to parents in the most crisis period of his time? Shouldn't parent be the first one he should go? Shouldn't parent be the first one he should contact? Maybe it's a failure in relationship, it's a breakup, or whatever may be, especially in teenage. I think there is the answer which should alert the parent that, am I a person a child would come when he is facing extreme low in his life? If the parent's answer is yes, then the parent's relationship is good. If the child is running away from you because he is afraid of you, I think that is the most difficult rejection the child is facing. So be with the child in the most crucial period of his life. Be with the child when he is experiencing failure everywhere. So be a support system, and child will be strong enough to face any crisis in his life. Okay. So my time is up.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I would request the attendees, they can keep on posting their questions, which we will be taking up soon. So,
Yeah.
ma'am, beautifully you have narrated, and I believe rejection and disappointment, it goes very closely,
Yes.
and two difficult feelings, too difficult. I mean, too difficult even to explain at times. But when it comes to a child journey, and being from the home environment, the kid is also spending a decent amount of time in the school environment. So it is very important for a parent to make the child understand, like to inculcate certain values, which will be like building the children's value to their character, not with the achievement. But at times, it is not the fact. So let us also understand where the child spend quite a lot of time is school environment. So welcome you, ma'am, Prutha ma'am. Please share your insights, the child journey within the school environment. And we may start with a poll question to the attendees. So the question is here. So, what are the common reason of feeling rejected? Ambiguous social interaction with peer, ignorance by parents, teachers' approach, social media vulnerability. So, let us understand what the audience or the attendees are feeling. Well, another 10 seconds.
Until then, is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is absolutely visible, and I believe you are seeing the result also.
Yes.
So, ma'am, let us start with the response from the parents. So, more than 50% are saying ignorance by the parents. And the social media is also influencing a lot. Social interaction with the peers. I believe that's again an area where the school environment plays a very important role. Ma'am, over to you.
It does. So first of all, a very, very good evening. Before I start, I would like to thank Mr. Deeptiman Tripathi, who is the Managing Director of WEFA. Alongside, I would like to thank Mr. Ajinkya Dalal and his other subordinates and give opportunity to express my thoughts and express my views about this extremely sensitive yet very, very essential topic, which is attention to rejection. All right, before I start expressing anything, I would request all the participants to just close your eyes because we will be doing a very quick activity that will take not more than 5 seconds. So all of you quickly please close your eyes and I'm going to be reading this to you. Rejection can be defined as the act of pushing someone or something away. Now, when I'm saying this to you with your eyes closed, all of you, let's go back and think that have we ever been pushed? Have we ever been rejected? Have we ever been asked to wait? Have we ever been set back for something? Have we ever been told that you can wait or your answer can wait for some time? If most of you have got the answer is yes, it is extremely, extremely correct because rejection is one thing that can happen to any and every one of us. It has happened to any and every one of us, at least for once in our lifetime, for whatever reason that we are saying. Right. So the places that we feel rejected, as doctor has correctly said, that the first place that we feel rejected is home. So in the situation, what happens is that many a times we notice that initially we used to stay in a joint family where randomly around 12 to 13 members were there and all the job responsibilities or all the attention was equally shared with all the members. Now we have a very nuclear family with hardly 3 or 4 living in a family, and your child is the epicenter of attention. Your child is getting the entire attention of of both the parents, and when parents are away, they have the media to take care of them. So when they step out of home, what happens to them is that, right, when they step out of home, what happens to them is that they meet their friends, they meet their peers. Now, again, as I say, peers, you live in a building, you live in a society, you live in a complex, and all your friends are there, and a lot of different cultural backgrounds they are, a lot of different language backgrounds they are, and they come together and they play. Sometimes while playing, what happens is that somebody falls, somebody gets bullied, somebody, when you're playing, you get out and they start teasing you that, oh, you lost, or oh, you fell, and either one of the parent is watching from the balcony, and if the mother or the father says that, hey, you know what, move on, don't bully, don't pull, let him be, the confidence of that child is punctured. The child will never be able to make a decision on his own. The child will never know what it is like to be a part of the group, to be a part of the gang, to feel it's okay to fall, it's okay to run, it's okay to get out. The next most important place where the child can feel rejected is among the family itself. Now, for instance, we have observed so many instances in school where the parents feel that their child is a trophy for them. Social media has become so vulnerable, and we can see toddlers who are 3-4-year-old children saying 1 to 100, 100 to 1. And each parent wants their child to do that. If you know any kind of thing that other childs do not know, the parents want to show off your trophy child and say, chalo, mere beti ko to aata hai, bol ke dikhao, bol ke sunao. Whenever you meet at any social gatherings, the hot topic of discussion is, kitna mila? Marks kitne mile? Awards kitne mile? Nobody asks the child that, you know what, it's okay, you know, it's just absolutely fine. You are not giving the child the opportunity to be a part of the discussion. Next place where the child can feel rejected is a park. Now, here the ratio in India of children is to park or children is to garden is so less that each and every garden that you see or each and every park that you see is extremely, extremely overcrowded. So, what children like in a park, a seesaw or a merry-go-round, and what you see next to these favorites is a huge queue of children standing and waiting for their turn to hop on. And once they hop on, they don't want to get out. So the parent again intervenes and says that, okay, chalo beta, aapka ho gaya, now next child comes. Okay, when does the child get the chance to make a decision? When does the child know that it's okay to share? And the last but the very important criteria where the child may feel rejected, may feel left out, may feel disapproved, may feel that he is being ignored, he's being disappointed is school. Many a times, yes, this happens many a times. The child is inside the campus, the child raises his hand and the child answers a wrong answer. Sometimes within a group of students, students suddenly laugh or the teacher mocks you down by saying, "Tumhara jawab galat hai, tumhara haath niche karo," and you don't answer. The next time when your answer is correct, you don't even have the audacity to raise your hand and want to answer. Many a times, it's very common for children to, you know, they are in their school while sitting, they pass a little pee, or sometimes they just poo. But again, because of the fact that they are scared to be how they will react or how the students around them will react, they don't tell anybody. And again, they go more and more into the mode of rejection. So very important, as even Dr. Jayashree has covered over here, parents have to completely keep an eye on what is happening with your child constantly. Right? So this takes us to the next common behavior seen in a rejected child. This is a very, very alarming question, alarming point about what is or how your child feels rejected, or how do you know that your child is being rejected, right? Your child may feel very, very aggressive. So now this aggression can be portrayed either physically, either verbally, or some kind of social uniformity, or some kind of socially the child might behave. We are not certain of how the child might behave, but aggression is triggered in a child who is rejected. When the child is rejected, the child gets aggressive, and in this aggression, the way he behaves with the other children prolongs the rejection, prolongs the way that the child behaved, other children behave with this child, and therefore this child becomes anxious. This child becomes anxious as to, why am I being ignored? Why am I being rejected? Why am I not a part of the crowd? Why am I not being able to interact? Right? So this anxiety happens, and anxiety happens in many, many forms. Some deal with anxiety, some do not deal with anxiety. But this anxiety, again, what happens is that it withdraws you. The child gets withdrawn automatically, subconsciously. The child does not want to be a part of the group, a part of any social interaction, a part of any social discussion. The child just says that, you know what, I'd rather be aloof. All right, you know what, I'd rather not be a part of the gathering. Now, what your child needs is certainly your undivided attention. Even identical twins have their own fingerprints. Even identical twins have their own thought process. Even identical twins might feel that, you know, that my mom or my dad loves the other one more. All right. Single children with a nuclear family, sometimes they keep hearing the mother say that you're like your dad, the dad says you're like your mom. And when you nag constantly, what happens is that the child's development, the child's psychological development is barrier. Your automatically restricting your child to think beyond boundaries, right? Um, I want to share with you a very, very universal example. We all know that here on my screen you are seeing Dr. APJ. You are seeing Dr. APJ. Now, Dr. APJ is an aeronautic engineer. Dr. APJ wanted to be a part of the Indian Air Force. He did his bit. He appeared the examination and he ranked 9th. Now, appearing for the IAF is a huge thing in itself. But unfortunately, there were only 8 seats during his time. Had Dr. APJ given up and had Dr. APJ said that, no, I cannot do anything. I wanted to be a part of the IAF, but I am not a part of the IAF. I'm going to sulk, or I'm going to give up my life. I'm going to lose my hope. As the students of this era, when you're appearing for competitive examinations, there are lakhs of students attempting the examination and a handful, thousands getting selected. The go-getters say that they take it positively. The go-getters say that, no, you know what? I know my limits. I know my time frame. I'm going to do my best the next time. But this also affects the students who are thinking negatively. They start getting aggressive. They start getting anxious. The parents might not be around. But Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is the best example. After being rejected, or after not being selected, I'd rather say, in the IAF, he went on to become the missile man. He went on and he founded 5 missiles. He did a huge lot of things for India. He got Prithvi, Nag, Vayu, Akash, Trishul, and he has done so much. He has predicted so much. So a message out there for all the parents that if your child feels low, if your child fails, it's absolutely okay. If your child is not being able to, he's tried, he's put in his best, he's done. But if he's not being able to achieve, it's still okay. All the child needs is your love. Okay, jokingly then in another interview, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was asked by a reporter that, Doctor, you've done so much for the country, you've done so much for the nation, you founded missiles, but Doctor, why didn't you get married? So to this, doctor replied that, you know what, I was so busy, I actually forgot to get married. Okay, now this is his personal thing. This is obviously doctor's personal, so don't take not getting married seriously, but look at his positive approach to life. So he's the best example, and there are so many books written about him. Parents, I would recommend you to read at least one of Dr. APJ's book to get the best insight of what you need to be. Mr. Deeptiman, next slide, please. Right. So how do we help a child to avoid rejection? All right, now rejection could be because the child even has some kind of developmental issues. Maybe the child is ADHD, or maybe the child has some kind of physical issues, okay, or maybe the child is facing some kind of cultural barriers. We human beings are a social animal and we need to interact. We need to come close to one another, and this can only and only be done by demonstrating. We have to show to them, we have to show to the children what it is like, and we will be able to do it only when we interact socially, positively. At times the atmosphere at home is not very conducive for the child to, he only learns what he sees. Sometimes you might just not understand how he's reacting in a particular situation, but the child's mind is like more than a master computer. So you can also help your child to avoid rejection by working with them, right? When we have parents come to school, and we have parents, overprotective parents come to school and tell that my child wants to be left alone, my child doesn't interact, my child doesn't be a part of the conversation. Our question goes out to them: how many times have you included the child in your daily activities? How many times have you allowed the child to come into your kitchen and dirty the kitchen? Let the child chop a tomato, let the child peel a potato, let the child understand, ki, okay, now oil, then so and so, then so and so. How many times has he helped you in cleaning the table? How many times have you sat and eaten food with your child? If you have not been doing it yourself, you are somewhere lagging. So the child then could feel rejected also physically, because he might be having some setbacks like thumb sucking. Subconsciously, when the child feels anxious, the child feels ignored, automatically his thumb goes into his mouth. He picks his nose, and the other children around him might not want to be with him. They might not want him to be around, right? So this is one very important thing, that parents calmly need to put the finger down and say, my dear, it's okay. Now parents are at home. Some children have a habit of putting their thumb into their mouth while sleeping, while some have the habit of chewing their nails. You and your parents have to politely put their hands down, put your hands around their shoulders, and tell them that you love them. Some children want to be a part of the conversation all the time. When you are in a group and suddenly one hot topic that comes up, your child is unaware of what the topic is. The child feels left out. The child doesn't know. Your child has to be socially aware of what is happening in and around. You need to tell your child that when I am having a discussion with you, you have to have turns to speak. When the child speaks, this also means that you are not allowed, my dear parents, to interrupt. You need to listen to your child. Even if your child says the mountain is yellow, the clouds are purple, the trees are green or black, whatever, listen to them. Let them express, and after that say, you know what, you have a point, but maybe this may differ. Don't tell him that, you know what, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. Don't shut the child down. So you have to constantly have a positive interaction with your child. Now, how do you help a child who is feeling rejected? How do you help him overcome this? Now, my first point over here is that, very importantly, listen to your child. I will throw an example to you. If you talk to a person who listens to you, who allows you to speak, who allows you to express his views, who allows you to acknowledge his point, or will you speak to a person who only dictates you, only piles up his load on you, doesn't have time for you, is never available around with you, who's not interested with talking to you? What would be your answer, my dear parents? A or B? Right? So assertively, A. I would want to talk to somebody who listens to me. So if you don't have the time, if you don't have the interest to talk to your child, my dear parents, it is very difficult. And we have experienced so many parents come to school when the child is in primary age, from 1st to 4th standard. They want to just pound on them. When the child comes home, just grab their bag, open their tiffin box and check, khana khaya hai, nahi khaya hai. And suddenly, when the child comes in the 8th, 9th and 10th, the parent comes to us and says, मैडम हमारा बच्चा हमसे बात ही नहीं करता, हमारा बच्चा फोन पे लगा रहता है, हमारे बच्चे को हमसे बात करने में इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है. So when you had the time, when you should have spoken to the child, you did not. And now you expect the child to listen to you. You have to help your child to understand how to behave. After listening, it is very, very important to help your child to become aware of what is happening in and around. You have to tell him. There is absolutely nothing that you cannot tell the child. Now, there are so many things happening around. There are rape cases happening around. There are dowry cases happening around. There is this Sushant Singh thing that you feel that मैं अपने बच्चे को नहीं बोल सकता, बहुत sensitive है. Parents, you are wrong, because children already know. Many parents of a girl child feel they wait till the child reaches the 7th or 8th standard to talk about menstruation, but the child already knows. Your child is in a digital era, and the child, if you don't speak to the child beforehand, if you don't help the child, if you don't teach the child things that they should know from you, they will obviously get the knowledge outsourced. The whole platform is available. And in the process of listening, helping, teaching, the child has gone away from you, my dear parents. You have to sit with your child, and if you feel that your child is the one who gets rejected, praise the child, encourage the child, tap his back and give him one affirmation. Let each and every child have one affirmation. That affirmation could be, I'm the best. Or the affirmation could be, I can do anything at all. And you emphasize on the word anything. I can do anything. When you say this in front of the mirror 10 times, you as parents, the energy that pumps into you or the vibes that pump into you are mind blowing. Try this exercise after you go back to your schedule or once you're sleeping. Parents generally feel very, very conscious that my husband is watching, my child is watching. In front of the mirror when nobody is there, just say this. Yeah, work with your child, work towards his weakness, work towards his interest, understand what he likes, understand what his friend circles have adopted. It's very important because nowadays, when we were younger or when our parents were younger, they were rejected because they were either fat or short or dark or ugly. Yeah, now nobody is in that shape. Now they are they are getting rejected because they don't have enough friends on Facebook, no enough likes on their post, no Instagram, no filters, and you have to work with your child. Yeah, get him inside your schedule and talk to him. Time is a very influencing factor. You, my dear parents, are the architects of your child's future. Many of you, even before you had the baby in your hand, even before knowing if it was a boy or a girl, you had planned. I will make my child this, whether or not it is achievable, whether or not the target that you have set is physically possible. You have to lay a pathway. But if your foundation is not strong, if your foundation is not clear, if your thought processes are not clear, then it gets dicey. And once this foundation gets dicey, the whole building might fall. Then the children will go out and then they obviously have their boyfriends and their girlfriends and that may be wrong. Many a times we've observed that the friends they make are not right. But that time telling them or just grabbing them from the friends is also a wrong thing. Where were you when they needed you? As children, when they wanted the time with you, you were not around. So you have to help your child by just giving them these magic mantras. Everybody likes a little magic in your life. Everybody likes a little abracadabra in your life. So we have introduced these 4 magical mantras. The first one is, surround your child with people that genuinely care about them. Now, at this phase, if I explain to you about good vibes and bad vibes, it will be wrong from my part. All of you know when you're talking to any person, whether you are getting positive vibes or whether you're getting negative vibes from that person. You talk to the friend, you invite the friend over, invite the person over. Get to know what their parents do. Many a times, my dear parents, if I ask you, what is your child's best friend's name? Do you know? Parents, if I ask you, what is your child's best friend's name? Do you know the answer? Many of you must be knowing. Okay, if I ask you this question, that what is your best friend's father's name? Or what does your best friend's mother do? Or what does your best friend's father, where does he work? I'm sure that you are aware because we are in this era where change is required. All of you should know. It is very essential to know whether your child is in good company or bad company. You can't be a spy. Children don't like that your parents are checking their mobile phones, they're after them all the time. You are asking for their attention and they're running away from you. People come, people go. Don't chase anyone. It's absolutely normal, my dear parents. Please explain to your children that people come, people go, right? You can't get stuck with somebody. Pets come, pets die. Birth and death. This is a very crucial topic that parents don't want to talk about. Birth and death is not a taboo. Children should know that people come, people go. You know, you should talk to everybody. You should be open to talking, open to discussion. At your dinner table, One extreme thumbs down is TV. Second extreme thumbs down is mobile. You should talk, okay, talk, but about all these things. Don't talk about what all went wrong in the dal mein namak kitna kam hai or chawal mein pani kitna zyada hai. Don't talk about all that. Yeah, teach your child that, teach them to be grateful, teach them to be thankful, ask them to say thank you, welcome, I'm sorry. Children who feel rejected don't want to say sorry. So not everyone will like you, and it's okay. Let's not be a people's charmer. Let's not want to be the ace of the pack of cards. It's okay. If some people don't like you, it's normal. If some people like you, it's normal. Don't go that one step ahead to please everybody. Pleasing everybody and going to your extent to please everybody is not normal. Make them aware of self-worth. As I said initially also, teach them one affirmation, and the affirmation could be anything that has come from your childhood, that has come from your parents, right? You can tell them whatever you wish to that makes them feel happy, right? So, my dear parents, disapproval, disappointment, rejection, procrastination, all these, it's like a never-ending cycle. It's a rut, okay? But practicing your emotional hygiene, practicing your mental hygiene is as important as practicing your physical hygiene is. It will take time. It's better said than done. We all know grass is always greener on the other side, but it's not like somebody will turn the wand. It will happen in 2 days. It will take time. You have to hug your child every morning, hug your child every night, and end the day by saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you felt this way. I'm sorry that you felt bad. I'm sorry that your friends might have not understood you. But you know what? There's always a tomorrow. You know what? You're my shining star. All right. Every stone that becomes a diamond first is a rock. So, Mr. Deeptiman, on that note, I'd like to thank you all for your patience and your time. And thank you, Mr. Deeptiman, for this wonderful topic that you have ignited in the minds of us and the parents.
So I believe we are thankful to you because many parents are also writing, I wish or we wish you to be the teacher when they were small. So I believe big compliment. So, but definitely you said that everybody wish to have some magic in their life. But here, the magic we are creating, as that's what you have reflected, and the process. There is nothing. There is no mechanical process involved here. It's, I believe, the emotion is the key element out here. Like even when we are saying the rejection also happened to adult, and various and with this pandemic, people are seeing a lot of rejection in their workplace, in their families, in their day-to-day life. Lot of rejection, but simultaneously they are getting acquainted, and then probably what you said, particularly for a child, it is very important, like even when Dr. Jayashree also started the session, and then coming to their self-esteem, then communication, the way, the positive environment which need to be built up in and around the child, being at home or even at school environment, it is equally very important. And beyond that, there is also a social environment when the child is exposed to, well, this is a different time altogether, but it is equally very important. And I believe the parents or the other attendees have a lot of question, ma'am, and we will definitely take up one by one. So
Sure.
now the first question comes, ma'am, is that the parents comparing the child with the another one, is it right and wrong?
See, comparison would be there. Definitely, sometimes we wish to motivate the child by showing examples, maybe of good behavior, maybe good uh, achievements. But if it is done, like I told you, that whenever we speak, it is the body language, the tone, and the other things also matter. So whether you are trying to motivate the child or pulling child down by showing other person at such a height, I think that intention is very important, because we need to tell our child sometime that that child has done something, you can also do it. But the intention of the parent, the tone of the parent, and the the message which you want to convey, it has to be done very systematically and thoughtfully. Then only it will work. Otherwise, the child will feel कि मम्मी को तो वही अच्छा लगता है, तो मैं तो अच्छा ही नहीं लगता हूँ. So comparison between siblings or students uh, can be directed towards some motivation, but most of the time, it becomes a very disturbing fact for the child.
You know what I feel in this case, Mr. Deeptiman, that parents have the right to compare if they have the time to spend with their children. If I tell my son is a little one, if I tell him that, look, this boy is so good in studies, then I have to self-introspect that if whether one, I want my son to become like him, two, if I have the time to give my son to become like him. So all the parents out there who compare with your siblings or with the neighbors or with the neighbors, you should first ask yourself this question, that do I have the time? If my son says, chalo main karke dikhaunga, do you have the time to hold his hand and walk him through? If no, do not compare, because then it can get lethal.
Well, I think that's there, and when this is called like drawing attention at times, probably. Now, let's say now the digital school is on and a lot of activities for the children, and many times the kids also want attention there. They want to be on the spotlight, and if you do not do so, they also feel been deprived. So these are probably the E days, or maybe when we are dealing with this new generation, the generation Alpha, or maybe not even. Why not to include the generation Z as well? So they are a different generation altogether. They are self-content. They know, they understand the importance of probably the life within the family and outside as well. So they also do expect a lot of things. In now, I think the other day we were discussing about these days the kids are having their own social account. So how many likes they are receiving, that also impact their life. So that also disturb them. Why I'm so there is a comparison is also happening all the time.
See, again, I would say that it is, the self-esteem of the child which will determine whether the child is depending on these issues for his confidence or for his existence, or he has something in between, inside him, that is the feeling of achievement, feeling of attachment to parent. Then the child will be able to, handle these issues. So a child with good self-confidence, good self-esteem, will say, I don't need social media. While child with poor self-esteem would, would want appreciation from each and everybody out there every now and then. And if he gets it, it's high for him, and if it is not getting, it's a low for him. So I think basically we need to focus on the self-esteem.
Right. So there is one more question coming from a parent who are also doctors, husband and wife. The child is a little one, 3-year-old only, and at times they feel sad that they're not able to give a lot of time to the child. And with one more question, like not settling down in the online classes with a very short span, maybe 5 minutes, then straight away say no, which means that's a worrisome thing for the parents. And now the question is, how can they can overcome with the child is very small, but the question is pretty apt, how to overcome with the child when they have a very short attention span in front of a digital screen.
I would sorry. I would want to address the doctors first. First of all, in this pandemic, the parents, I'm sure all doctors are doing extremely noble job. And I actually missed this point, but I had to say, parents, when one parent is necessarily busy, the other parent has to be necessarily available for the child. Please try to it's, as I said, it's rather simple to say than do. Plan your time slots as such. Your 3-year-old is very little, and all he knows right now is just you, the mom and the dad. right? So please try to give some time to your child, right? Try to understand his basic needs. When we say that this is the gadget that I'm going to give you because you have to be smart, you have to be intelligent, that era has gone. Doctor ka beta doctor or engineer ka beta engineer has just gone, fortunately has gone, right? And with the children having the low attention span, first of all, ma'am, please understand the issue. Why does your child not want to attend? Have you restricted him screen time to an extent that now he's scared somewhere to sit in the front of the screen? Are you giving him a device, a laptop or a mobile? Are you giving him some kind of perks that if you attend the class, we'll cook together? If you attend the class, we'll eat what you have made. If you attend the class, we'll draw together. Have you tried backing? In case if you have, then have you spoken to the teachers? Have you spoken to the school? Have you seen what must have gone wrong? Inquire with the friends. This is not a matter of rejection. Many students don't want to attend online classes because they feel कि मैम को तो दिख ही नहीं रहा है, मैम को तो हमें पता ही नहीं है, मैम तो किसी और में ही बिजी है, right? Speak to your, I'm sure all your schools have PTMs, all your schools have active PTAs, your school has come to your home, you have in this digital area, you can directly communicate up to the headmistress of your school. Take advantage of that. Sit with your child maybe after school, take your syllabus and then just do one-to-one. Don't push him for tuitions, don't push him for another educator. You are the edu leader, you are the pillar. Sit with him, try to manage. In this situation, if you've scolded him, if you've embarrassed him, if you've humiliated him, if you've, for the matter of fact, compared him, then it looks like a dark cloud. But always try to understand, right? Dr. Jayashree, your view?
See, a child as young as I think 3 years you said, no? 3 to 5
Yeah,
years.
4 years, yes.
Yeah. So if he is not attending to the media or to e-learning, I think parents should let it be. They should attend, they should get the work from the teachers and they can do it offline also. Because as doctors, we don't recommend screen for a more than a particular period of time. So it is okay. We have done this for little elder students also who were not comfortable with e-learning. So it is okay. See, basically, child needs to read and write. So even if he is not coping with media, then parents can stick to basic skills for this year.
Yeah.
Definitely, they will get some catch up time and they will cope up with the studies. So lack of attention to e-class, I think it's perfectly okay.
Right, ma'am. There is one more question for you, Dr. Jayashree.
Yeah.
Here, the child is only 8 years old
Yeah.
and carries a mood swing, like a bit moody, and behave very responsible, but sometimes he gets very aggressive, and particularly when the child is with the grandparents.
Okay. See, being aggressive sometimes is a learned behavior. It is not a basic behavior. Okay, so why the child is getting aggressive? Because that is the way he has learned to get the things done. So here, lack of consistency in the discipline is the main reason. That is number one. Secondly, what is the cause of mood swings? Is the child not comfortable with the current pandemic situation? Is the child not spending much time with the parents? So they have to find out the reason. And number three, as I have told earlier, that when they find a suitable time, they need to talk with the child regarding his emotions, what is making him aggressive, what are his demands, and what are the ways of fulfilling it. And they should learn to say no also. Parents need to learn to say no. So whatever if they feel is wrong, they must tell the child that this is wrong and this won't be accepted even if the child gets aggressive. So communication with the parent and proper discipline, I think, will definitely solve the issue.
Correct.
Okay. So there are two more questions we will take here. The next question is, my child could score 94% in the 12th last year, but he is repeating the entrance exam to get into the desired college. Is he doing the right approach to rejection?
Uh, See, that depends on actually lot of issues. Okay. Uh, if the child has not performed or studied well in the previous year, then definitely he can try for next year. But if the child has got the score with lot of efforts, I don't think reputation will be an issue. But as it is now, he has repeated. I think we should stick with that decision, support him that decision, because as it is, those who are appearing for 12 this year, it is a very difficult time
Yeah.
because all the exams are getting postponed and lot of disturbances are there. So whatever decision child has taken, now parents need to support and be with the child during this period.
And there is one more question, like my child has developed the habit of doing the same thing even at times if we scold. So he's 15 years old and worried for the future.
I think the mode of communication with the parent and child, like why he is doing the same thing. Is it attention seeking behavior? Is he enjoying the process of irritating the parents? Sometimes that also happens. That children will do the thing which parents don't like just to irritate. The basic cause may be rejection, so parents need to find out. And if they see that they have adopted these normal methods and still the child is continuing to doing that, then probably they need expert advice. And at 15, I think they should go for it. Otherwise, habits do become a problem in teenage.
Is ma'am, hyperactivity is normal?
Yeah.
We go with the time, or is it like some address need to be there?
Hyperactivity doesn't go with the time. Hyperactivity will change its nature. Like in initial, it is years, it will be more of a physical hyperactivity, while in later years, it will be more of attention deficit. So child will have problems in the task where bit of attention is needed, concentration is needed, focus is needed. So if that is not there, then child will end up with some academic and other issues as well. So hyperactivity doesn't go, and behavior therapy is the most effective method to deal with the hyperactivity. Only thing, it has to be given consistently and as early as you can start it, and need to be continued till adolescence.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is such a vast topic because
Yes.
this is probably not affecting the current time of the children or maybe the adult. This is affecting the entire lifespan of the family as well. So I believe in the coming weeks, sometime we will have a second series of this. So thank you, Dr. Jayashree ma'am and Mrs. Prutha Bane, for giving your insights and very
Thank you so much.
narrated and a lot of discussion we could have. And we would still request all the attendees, if they have for more questions, they can also send us by email, or we would also invite them to be our part of I'm the Best Mom community in the Facebook, where we keep on doing all these activities, be it with children emotions, be it with children nutrition need, and various other topics. And we, on a regular basis, we also do yoga for the children, and so that wellness is very important today. Then and lot of initiative by I'm the Best Mom. And thank you, ma'am, once again. It is great to have you today.
Thank you
And
so much.
Thanks, my pleasure.
thank you.
Thank you.